Hi guys, it's me Adrian. You probably didn't think I was going to make a video this soon, seeing as I just lost my father a few weeks ago to cancer. But it hasn't even been a full week since the funeral. But I thought, what am I going to do? Am I going to just keep grieving and feeling sorry for myself here in the house, or am I going to just try and get on with things like everybody else? So, I found out one way to help me deal with the depression was to buy myself something. So I went and bought this Hyperkin MegaRetron HD, which is a Sega Mega Drive Genesis clone, and this is what the video is going to be about. So yeah, I'm going to try and do a full comprehensive review. I'm going to try and show you as many things about it as I can, all its features, how it sounds, how it looks, and we'll just go from there. I'm going to actually be using, capturing footage as well as talking on the camera like this and showing you the hardware and stuff like that. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I thought it would be fun to do, and I've done things like this in the past, so I thought, yeah, I'll try and do a video like this, a review from a Power 50 Hertz perspective, because everybody else that's reviewed this in the past, doesn't concentrate on the power side of it and just does, NTCU and NTCJ. Well, this one's going to be more about Power 50 Hertz, how the games run in PAL, not so much NTSC. Okay, so just bear with me. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we'll just see how we go. So I went and ordered this Hyperkin MegaRetron HD clone Sega Mega Drive system the other day. I got it today. I've been mucking around with it all day. We just want to have a look at the box here. What does it say? It says, can I read that? Yeah, it's a clone system. HD audio and video 720p, compatible with NTC and PAL games. Mega Drive cartridges via bottom case switch, as well as original controllers. Hyperkin engineered perfect pin. Patient pending technology sets a new standard for state-of-the-art high quality pin connectors. And it also has 16.94.3 aspect ratio. Okay, I'm not going to pretend that I've just opened this up for the first time, because I haven't. I just put it in the box as cheaply as I could. And you can see it's already got my 8-bit dongle on there. So I've been fiddling around with it today. I've taken all the cables and shit out of it. See, the cables usually come in here. This was brand new, by the way. So it comes with a HDMI cable. So you can hook this up to a new Sony Smart TV, or doesn't have to be Sony, a flat screen Smart TV. You can hook it up to one of those. It also came with a set of AV cables for composite output. And what else came in the box was a Hyperkin 6-button Mega Drive Genesis controller, and I've mucked around with this too. It's not a bad controller. It's got a good feel to it. It's a long cable too, so you can sit right back. If you don't have a wireless 8-bit or retro bit wireless controller, that'll do. So before I get to the games, we'll just have a look at the console itself. So this is what it looks like. I haven't taken this plastic thing off it yet, but I might do it now. And I just want to say I love the look of this thing. This is the greatest looking, this is the best looking Mega Drive clone console I've ever seen. I think it even looks better than the Analog Mega SG. I like how it's got this cut corner thing on the side. That's like a LED light. When you turn it on, it goes blue. That's the Hyperkin logo there. They're the ones that made this. As you can see, you got your teeth in there for your cartridge. I should point out that how this system works. It's not FPGA, so it's not quite like the Analog Mega SG. It's not using premium FPGA emulation. It's using emulation on a chip. It's hardware on a chip, yeah. But it's not quite FPGA. It's somewhere in the middle. And yeah, it's not like the old AT games, you know, Sega Mega Drive Genesis clone consoles, you know, the small ones that look like a squash can, or those other ones, the flashback ones that came out right before Sega started doing deals with M2 and ditched AT games. Those ones were no, they weren't system on a chip. They were software emulation, yeah, where you put the game cartridge in and the machine would emulate the ROM. It would take the ROM out of the cartridge and make you play it via emulation. This doesn't do that. This works pretty much just like an original system, you know. It works pretty much like the Analog Mega SG, to be honest. It's a cheaper budget option for those out there, you know. It's a lot cheaper than the Analog Mega SG. I mean, the Analog Mega SG is like a premium console, and I've got one of those. I've got one of those upstairs, but I was looking to get another one, and I couldn't believe how much they're going for. They're selling for over $1,000. I mean, I'm not spending $1,000 just to get another one. And then I saw this. This was, you know, retailing for $142. That's Australian dollars, though. Mind you, it's not the US dollar. US dollar is worth a lot more. So this would probably be about, I don't know, $50-$60 US. But here in Australia, things cost a bit more. See, our Australian dollar is only worth about 59 US cents at the moment. I was at the post office today picking this up, and I looked at the exchange rate, and I couldn't believe it. 59 US cents. I mean, before Christmas it was worth, one Aussie dollar was worth about 62 or 63 US cents. So it's shrunk. It's gotten worse. So yeah, but back to what I was saying. It's this Hyperkin MegaRetron HD is a system on a chip. Okay, it's very similar to FPGA, but it's not quite as good as FPGA. So let's have a look at it. We got an on-off switch there. That works very much just like an original Sega Mega Drive Genesis. I like that switch. As you can see on the front here, you've got a reset button in blue, just like the original Japanese Mega Drive console. You've got your player 1, player 2 controller ports. As you can see, I've already gone and plugged my 8-bit DOE dongle in there so I can play with the wireless controller. What do we got at the back? In the back you've got your power out through USB micro. Then you've got HDMI output next to that. And what I really love about this is you've got composite video and audio. I love that. And you've got a switch next to it to switching the ratio, screen ratio, from 16.9 to 4.3 or 4.3 to 16.9. So I done a lot of research on this console, this actual, you know, thing I've got in my hand here, and I decided to finally make the move to get one. I thought, yeah, I thought everyone's giving it a thumbs up. I watched so many reviews of it, and everyone's saying that it's worth getting. It's good to get for a budget system if you can't afford, you know, the higher end, you know, premium analog Mega SG or stuff like that. So yeah, so I went and got one, and I'm very happy with it. I've been mucking around with it all day. I've been playing games on it. I've been hooking it up, you know, HDMI and composite video. I've been mucking around with it. I've been chucking all sorts of games at it to see what it plays, what it doesn't. It's played every single game I've chucked at it, and I'll get to that very soon. One of the things I really love about this, I'll tell you the truth, the two things that made me want to get this was I love the look of it. I love how it's got that round circle, just like the original Mega Drive. And I love how you can easily hook it up to a new TV, a new flat screen smart TV, and you can still hook it up to an old CRT, you know, monitor through Composite AV. And I really like that. So yeah, I'll find my bearings here. So what I've got over here on the lounge, I've got all my games ready that I'm going to chuck at it. That I'm going to test. This thing does play Master System games, so as you can see I've got a few Master System games here. I've got the Mega Drive games. These are the Mega Drive games I've picked. We're going to try Virtual Racing. We're going to try Super Street Fighter 2. We're going to try Sonic and Knuckles. And we're going to try Sonic 3. And we're going to try Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles locked on, because that's what you want to see. You want to know if it's going to play the big games. You know, Super Street Fighter 2, the 5 megabyte, 40 megabit game, and Virtual Racing with its special, what is it, SVP chip. And I've also got an EverDrive here that I'll be testing as well. Now I've seen, just before I show you the games, I just want to say that I've watched a lot of reviews, and a lot of different reviewers that have reviewed this all give slightly different results. Like for instance, I've watched about 2 or 3 reviews that have said that Sonic 3 and Knuckles locked on does not work. So I'll show you, you know, for yourself here in my video, and we'll see how that goes. I have seen in other YouTube videos, I've seen where Sonic 3 and Knuckles has worked on this. It does. I have seen it running on this, but they've done it from an EverDrive. Now, when you run the game from an EverDrive, that doesn't count to me, because you're not using the original Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles cartridges locked on. It has to work through the lock-on feature, not through the EverDrive. The EverDrive doesn't count. Not everyone has an EverDrive. EverDrives are not cheap. What you want to see is if it runs this and it runs that together. Okay? And I'll try a shitload of other games. I'm going to actually show you, you know, through the capture equipment like I normally do. I'll start out by using composite. I'll show you how good composite looks. And how it sounds and how the games run. And we'll take it from there. Alright. Hey guys, I just realised something. I forgot about the switch on the bottom. How could I forget to mention the switch on the bottom? Yeah, there's another switch on the bottom. I haven't really fiddled with this today. It says NTCJ, NTCU and PAL. So that changes the refresh rate. So I can't believe I forgot to mention that. See, my mind's not fully here. So you can play any game from, you know, any country on this. You know, you can play Japanese games, you can play American Genesis games, and you can play European PAL, you know, Australian Mega Drive games. So it's a win-win-win. I forgot to mention that. Okay, so guys, just before I put the game on, I want you to see that I've got Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3 locked on top. And we're going to see if the Hyperkin MegaRetron HD can play the larger Mega Drive games. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Alright guys, there you go. I did not fake that. That was coming from the MegaRetron HD. It plays Sonic 3 and Knuckles, okay? That's 100% confirmed by me, okay? It runs Sonic 3 Knuckles. And the next game I'm going to try is Super Street Fighter 2. So let's see what this one's like.
USA. Round 1, fight. Sonic Boom. Hadouken. 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 Sonic Boom! Hadouken! Hadouken! Sonic Boom! Hadouken! 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 Ooh, oh. You win!
Okay guys, well, It runs Super Street Fighter 2, the largest commercially available Sega Mega Drive game, you know, 40 megabit, 5 megabyte game. It runs it using the special mapper that it's got. So we'll try virtual racing. So we're off to a very good start here. Let's see if virtual racing works. Whoa, holy moly guys, it played virtual racing. Hardly any of these clone systems play virtual racing. So it's looking mighty good, these results. But to tell you the truth guys, I already knew that these games worked because like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been messing around with this all day. And chucking all sorts of games at it, and it's played everything so far. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my Mega EverDrive X7. I'm just going to play some games to see how the system performs, and then I'll get to the Master System side of it and show you what Master System games are like, and we'll just take it from there. Alright, let's do some more testing.
done. Excellent. Choose your destiny. You will never win. Round one, fight! Scorpion wins flawless victory. Round two, fight! Outstanding. Outstanding. Superb. Superb. Well done. Scorpion wins flawless victory. Fatality.
Okay guys, I think that's enough testing on the Mega Drive games. I'll just show you one more. It's Sonic the Hedgehog again. I'm going to flick the switch to NTSC, but I have to do it like this. I have to actually film the TV screen, because all my recording equipment is set to power 50, and if I switch that to NTSCU, you're going to get a black screen on the capture. So I'll have to do it like this. There you go, that's 50 Hertz. See if I can switch it. How am I going to do this with one hand? I can't do it. There you go, there's NTSC. The colours look all shit. I probably didn't do it properly because I hot switched during game, but you can hear the music's running at the right speed. So that switch on the bottom does work. You can switch it from power to NTSC. Okay guys, now on to the Mega Drive, the Master System stuff. Okay guys, I'm going to be using the official Master System Converter 2. This you could only get it in PAL regions. It didn't come out in America or Canada. It didn't come out in NTSC regions. This fits on top of it. I don't know if you can see. Actually fits pretty good. Every other game's been a tight fit. And I specifically want to try these games on single, proper cartridges, because these three games have always given me the most trouble when trying to run them on the Master System power-based converter. They always give me a hard time trying to boot up, and you got to play with them and jiggle them and do all this shit just to get them to boot. We're going to see how they perform on the MegaRetron HD, because the MegaRetron HD plays Master System games. Let's check this out. Okay guys, all those games worked, so I'm very happy with that. They didn't give me any trouble booting up. I literally got them to power on the first try. So how good is that? But I did notice something, and there's something I want to talk about now. We've heard what the games sound like, as you saw me play in all those Mega Drive and Master System games. The picture looks really good. That is a composite signal. It's doing 720p. That is so sharp on this CRT TV. It is just an amazing signal. The audio sounds good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn close. I'd say it's probably 95% perfect, 96%. What I've noticed about the audio in the Mega Drive Genesis games is the PSG is very loud. It's much louder than it should be, and it makes the game sound a little bit wrong. But I can put up with that. I tend to like the PSG square waves to be softer, and the FM portion to be the louder section of the sound. But the mixing in this is a little bit screwed up. I noticed the square waves and the noise channel of the PSG is much louder than it should be, particularly the squares. And some of the FM channels are softer than they should be. And I noticed that the drum samples, the DAC channel, is slightly louder than it should be. So the mixing's all sort of wrong, but it still sounds okay. Most of those games sounded alright. The only real game that I showed in my footage just recently was Streets of Rage 2. Now if you notice on the characters that select your fighter screen, there was a few notes that played wrong. When it went do 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 do, it didn't quite sound right. It just sounded a little bit off, just a fraction like the AtGames console. But apart from that, everything else I've chucked at it. It's been in tune. So I'm happy with that. That's my findings on the audio. The Master System audio is pretty much perfect. Everything sounds the way it should. The noise channel sounds the way it should, doing its beatboxing there. But I did notice something today when I played Master System games, and I saw it again just now when I tried those 3 Master System games. I don't know if you noticed on Shadow Dancer and Tom and Jerry, and I'll show it now on... Oh, where is it? Yeah, Lemmings. I noticed this today. That there's like an artifacting on the screen. It's really weird. It's really bad in some games, and it's not bad in others. I'm showing Lemmings here, in the Master System version this time, because this is one of the games where this artifacting thing looks really bizarre. I'll show you what I mean, right? I've got this cheat activated. Okay, everything looks normal so far, but as soon as the Lemmings come out, you'll notice there's like this weird artifacting thing on the top of the screen, and it seems to have something to do with the sprites moving on screen. Like, watch this. Wait till the first Lemming comes out and starts walking around. See that thing on the top there? And then if I select one of these windows, it sort of shows sort of up here. It's really strange. If I get them out really fast, release rate 99, yeah, you get all this weird shit. I'm just trying to be honest in my review. Guys, I don't want to hide anything from you. If you know, I want you to decide for yourself if this is something you're looking at getting in the future. This might be a hindrance to you. It might be something that you won't want to see. It might bother you too much. I can put up with that. It doesn't do this in every single game. It's only some games. So it's just something I noticed. Like, I do go to another Western game. Seems to be worse with the Western games. Better with the... Not as noticeable with the Japanese games. So there's this other one here, Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia's got the same sort of problem. I'll just wait for it to start up. Yeah. There you can see a bit of the sprite on the top. It's really bizarre. It's worse in game here, see? It's like sprite flicker as well. And in case anybody's wondering, because I know the first thing a lot of you are going to say is, it's because you're playing them in Power 50 Hz, you're not running them the way you're supposed to. No, if you switch that switch to NTSC or NTSC-J, you get the same flicker. So it's not got nothing to do with the refresh rate. It's got nothing to do with composite either. It's got nothing to do with HDMI. HDMI is something I'm still going to show you. It's just something I noticed. You know, if you can put up with that, well, good luck to you. I can. I mean, the game's still playable. It's just got this weird sort of flicker thing. And this only happens on Master System games. It doesn't happen on Mega Drive games or Genesis games. So I'll show you some other games where it doesn't happen, like Psycho Fox, for example. I'd booted up Psycho Fox to see if there's any of that weird artifacting on the top there, and there isn't. And this game runs perfect. See? So I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if if that happens in all units of this thing, or if it's just the one I got. But I thought I'd just, you know, show it off. And we'll try. Let's try my Alex Kidd Miracle World hack from last year. I don't think there's any sprite flicker or weird artifacting on this one either. This is pretty solid, like Psycho Fox you just saw there. No sprite flicker, no weird artifacting. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a fault with the one I got here, my MegaRetron HD, but I haven't shown a Sonic game yet, have I? We'll show Sonic. How can I not show Sonic 1 on the Master System, huh? That's a big no-no. Sonic 1 has a little bit of artifacting. So does Sonic 2, I've noticed. If you notice on the top there, there's like these little weird lines that sort of appear and then disappear. It's not really bad with Sonic, but it's there. Okay guys, so we've done the Master System side of things. Master System games play. The image looks clear, the sound sounds pretty good. Just some games have that little bit of weird artifacting going on. I don't know what that is. Now I want to get to the last part of the video where I want to show you the HDMI on the back of this thing. Everything I've done so far has been composite. I want to show you the HDMI. So you're probably thinking, how am I going to do that on this TV? This is a CRT. It doesn't have HDMI. Well, what I'm going to do is hook it up through this upscaler, HDMI to AV. It's the only way I can do it, where I'll have to convert the signal back to composite, but it works pretty much the same way as HDMI. Okay, so let's do that now. Okay guys, as you can see, I've got the upscaler set up. So what you're going to see now is all HDMI. Let's set to PAL. The image looks a lot darker. In my opinion, HDMI doesn't look quite as good as composite does. Not only on the CRT here, but also on the Sony Smart TV upstairs, because I've taken this up there before. And hooked it up through HDMI, and it doesn't look as good as composite. I've even hooked up composite on the TV upstairs, because it's got an AV port on it on the smart TV, and I think even the composite looks better than the HDMI here. Okay, so I guess it looks okay. What have I got it set to? 16.9? I think it's 16.9 on the back. Remember that 4.3, 16.9 thing on the back? I'll just set that there so you can still hear me talking and hear that. Now, one of the things I noticed about HDMI here is that it's got a sluggish frame rate. See how everything looks sluggish? You've still got that artifacting going on. That's got nothing to do with HDMI or composite, like I said. I don't know what that is, but the frame rate is now chugging. It's not as smooth as it should be. Still playable, I suppose, but it wasn't there in composite. So I've gone ahead and tested this HDMI thing on both power and NTSC with that switch on the bottom, and I noticed when you switch it to NTSC-U or NTSC-J, the frame rate is a lot smoother, but you get a judder every 13 seconds. Now, a judder is like a tear in the frame rate, where after so many seconds there's a slight pause, like that. And it's really fucking annoying. I can't stand judders. So with NTSC-U HDMI on this thing, you get a smooth frame rate, but every 13 seconds you're going to get that slight pause, and I don't like that slight pause. But with power here, you don't get a smooth frame rate, but you don't get the judder every 7 to 13 seconds. So I'm just pointing that out to you guys. Alright. Right guys, I've got the camera back to camera mode. I'm going to have to film the TV screen like this instead of using the capture, because I want to show you what happens when you switch from power to NTSC, not using the scaler of course, because that's got, well, I can show you on that too, but on this thing, the MegaRetron HD. So let's go back into Sonic 1. Now, with HDMI, you can't play your Master System games in NTC or NTCJ because the color is all screwed up. Other YouTubers have mentioned this, so I'm going to try and switch it to NTCU now. Hang on, actually I'll wait till we get into the game. I've still got it set to PAL. See, I switched it to NTCU. Music is running the way it's supposed to, but the colours are all shit. What happened to the colours? I had to film it this way because if I did it the other way, you wouldn't see anything. Because like I said, I've got everything set to PAL 50, and as soon as I change the refresh rate to NTSU, you'll get a black screen. So I had to do it from the outside. So this is a fault with the MegaRetron HD. It's something only with HDMI. You can play your Master System games through Composite at NTSC 60 Hz. There's no problem. But not HDMI. HDMI, it has to be PAL 50 if you want the right color. So I'll switch it back to 50 Hz. The frame rate is slower. This is what I'm used to, so it doesn't bother me. So now the colors are right, but everything's slower. Okay. Well, I'll just show you guys what happens with the upscaler. Because this has a power NTSC switch as well. I have to do it again from the outside. Filming the TV screen. So I've just switched it to NTSC and the colours look terrible. That looks like shit. How do you Americans, how did you just put up with the colour like this? Well, I guess it's not that bad, but when you see what PAL looks like in colour compared to that, I mean, that's PAL. PAL looks a lot better. Okay, so enough on the Master System now. We'll concentrate back on the Mega Drive side of things. Let's go back to Sonic the Hedgehog. We'll see what Sonic the Hedgehog looks like. HDMI. I've got it set back to 50 Hz. Now that colour thing is only for Master System games. It doesn't affect Mega Drive. Mega Drive, you can play them in NTCU. It's just fine. It's just something with the Master System games. I don't know why it does that, but and just one more thing I wanted to mention. The audio sounds pretty bad right now. I don't know why it's doing that. It must have something to do with the upscaler that I'm using, because when I hooked it up HDMI up in the bedroom on the Sony Smart TV flat screen, the audio was perfect. It was crystal clear. The timbre wasn't distorted like it is here. It looks pretty good. The image is darker than Composite AV, but it's just a bit sluggish, the frame rate. It's not sluggish in NTCU, but you get that judder every 13 seconds with NTCU, which you don't get the judder here. But the frame rate isn't as smooth, so you get to choose. What bug do you want? You want a sluggish frame rate for PAL, or you want a judder for NTC? Okay guys, so that's it. I won't show any more footage. So that's my review of the Hyperkin MegaRetron HD. I played every game that I chucked at it. It played all the big hitters. It played Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It played Virtual Racing. It played Super Street Fighter 2. It even played Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Ultimate Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is like 10 megabytes big. So, you know, everything worked. All the Master System games played. Everything sounded decent. Yeah, not perfect, but close. And, yeah, it's just the Master System games had that weird little bit of artifacting, you know, on screen. In some of the games, not all of them. And, you can't play NTSC-U. You can't play your Master System games in NTSC-U or NTSC-J through HDMI. So they're probably the only two minor issues with Master System games. But aside from that, you know, everything's perfect with it, or close to perfect. So yeah, what do I think of this thing? I think it's worth getting. I think if you can't afford to get an analog Mega SG or a higher end product that performs a little bit better, I think for what it's worth, I think the Hyperkin MegaRetron HD is pretty good. I mean, the big selling point for me was the fact that it supports HDMI for the new TVs, and it supports Composite AV for the old TVs, which not many do that. The analog Mega SG doesn't support CRT monitors. It only supports the new TVs, the flat screen smart TVs, and you have to use that upscaler if you want to run the analog Mega SG on a CRT. I had to run HDMI through the upscaler because this CRT doesn't have HDMI, and I thought, I'm not going all the way upstairs just to film, you know, backwards and forwards. I thought I'll just keep it all down here. So I think it's worth getting. I think it's pretty good, you know. I love the look of it. Like I said at the start of the video, such a beautiful, attractive looking Mega Drive clone console. I like how it's got the reset button in blue on the side, on the bottom there. I like how the on-off button is, you know, it's not flimsy, it's just like the original. I don't like the on-off button on the analog Mega SG where it's just pushed down, or you got to hold down to turn it on when the LED comes on, because it's so flimsy. Sometimes I've had to fuck around with that for so long, and the bloody thing doesn't even turn on sometimes, and then other times it works just fine. But you know, I would have much preferred a switch like this, you know. And I know I didn't show it. I didn't really show the 4.3 16.9. I had it set to 16.9. Yeah, that only works for HDMI. It doesn't, if you put it on, switch it backwards and forwards on composite, it doesn't do anything. It always stays on 4.3 screen ratio. But HDMI, you can switch between 4.3 and 16.9, but I kept it at 16.9. I did muck around with the switch on the bottom, the refresh rate switch. So when I used that, I had to film the TV like this. I couldn't do it through capture card because, like I said, all my recording equipment that I'm using to record this video is set to PAL. And as soon as I change the refresh rate to NTSC-U, the picture will go black. You'll still hear it, but you won't see anything. So I thought, I remembered from last time when I did one of these a very long time ago, I thought, no, I'm going to film the TV screen this time. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much my conclusion. It's worth getting, in my opinion. I give it out of 10. I give it probably a 7 out of 10. You know, for an emulation console, system on a chip, you know, it did pretty good. It played Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It doesn't just play Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the EverDrive. It plays Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the lock-on carts, and that's more important because that's what most people are going to have. It played Virtual Racing with the SVP chip. It played Super Street Fighter 2 because Super Street Fighter 2 is the largest commercially released Mega Drive Genesis game. You know, 5 megabytes, 40 megabits. And, you know, it played Ultimate Mortal Kombat Trilogy as well. So, it's pretty darn good. I don't think I've left out anything. Yeah, the sound is, like I said before, it's okay. It's passable. I just noticed that some FM channels are a little bit too quiet. And the PSG channels are a little bit too loud. Those square waves are very, very dominant. Much more dominant than they should be. And I even noticed the DAC channel, the PCM drum samples are even playing a little bit too loud. And I noticed the music has more bass. That's a good thing. That doesn't bother me. But it's clear. It's not distorted. The audio is not distorted. It doesn't sound anywhere near as bad as the mixing circuit of the official Mega Drive Genesis Model 2s. They sounded horrible when you hooked them up to a stereo system. Every time you heard a kick drum, it sounded like a blown speaker. You know, it was just that horrible distortion. There's none of that here, thank God. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know when I'll make another one, but that's my full comprehensive Hyperkin MegaRetron HD review. Okay. Catch you later, guys. Have a good one. Bye now.